Welcome, everyone, to Guy and Helmer, Unfiltered, but, kind of filtered as always. I am your host, Alex Helmer. Joined by me, as always, is the great comedian writer, Guy Knoll. Guy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Alex. I'm doing great. We got some great guests today.
Good
we
to
got
see you.
Rod from the Cinema Gallery, and we got Luke from Luke Reviews. This is like, get out the good China, folks. Got some really great guests here.
All right, guys, we're back. Unfiltered. Last time we actually aired an episode. This is 24 now, episode 24. Episode 23 came out in April. The show was discontinued. We never thought it would happen again. It was done. We packed up our bags. We moved on to other projects. But then we decided at the end of the year, the very end of the year, we didn't even wait till 2023. We missed it so much that we had to come back on the very last day of 2022 to bring you guys some awesome movie news coverage. And like I mentioned, we didn't come here alone. Two esteemed guests, Rod from the Cinema Gallery, also co-host on the Infinity Film Podcast. Rod, how are you doing today?
Good to see you guys. Happy New Year to everybody. First time here, so I'm excited.
And of course, we have Luke from Luke Reviews.
Happy to be back, ready to ring in the new year with all the movies of the old year, as we love to do.
Yes. And guys, again, we're going to be bringing you, we have a ton to bring you guys today, a ton of best of for 2022. So a lot of movies, a lot of TV from the year. We're going to tell you guys our best, our worst, kind of all our thoughts on that, as well as some smaller news topics, box office coverage, Oscars, a ton of stuff. But guys, again, we're excited to we're excited to be here. Guy and I couldn't be more excited, especially Guy. A little story for you all, folks. I woke up at 7 a.m. today. Did I want to wake up to 7 a.m. today? No.
It's true.
My phone was buzzing at 7 a.m. today. I was like, what is this? Who's calling me at 7 a.m.? It was Guy. I was like, oh shit. Nobody calls you at 7 a.m. unless like there's an emergency. I was like, oh, is something wrong? Did something happen? Can you not make the show or something? And I'm like, Guy, like, what's up? Like I text him, what's up? Like I'm sleeping. I can't talk to you. And he's like, and he sends me a video of his new background. And he's like, look at my new background. Isn't it nice? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Sure. Definitely worthy of a 7 a.m. call.
And it was. It was.
So that's how I woke up today, folks.
This is a great background.
No, it's fabulous, if I may say so myself. Very vintage.
Thank you.
But Rod's background gives it a run for its money.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
He's got the sound padding.
That is a nice background, though, Guy. I do like that.
You.
I like that little poster. Nice.
And then last piece of cleanup news, guys. I said at the beginning of the year that the goal for this channel is to reach 400 subs by the end of the year. And I'm not even joking, on the 31st, just today when I woke up, we reached 400 subs.
Yeah.
So right. We did it on the day, like the last day of the year, which is insane. So thank you all for supporting.
No one unsub. No.
No. I wanted to get to like 401 or 402 just to get some leeway, just in case that happens, Luke. But hopefully we put on a good show for you guys so you don't have to do that. But yeah, let's get started, guys. For the first topic of today, we didn't get a lot of big movie releases. We had one big TV release, The Witcher Blood Origin released the Witcher spin-off series. Now, guys, first of all, any of you guys fans of either the Witcher video game or the series with Henry Cavill?
What about the books, Alex?
Or the books?
I like the video games. I haven't watched the series yet, though, so I can't comment on the series.
And then, Rod, is there any reason? Is it just like a time reason? You didn't think it looked good? Why haven't you transferred over to the series yet?
Just other stuff I wanted to watch first. So eventually I'll get around to watching The Witcher. But I mean, like it always comes out when there's other stuff I want to get to watching first. So
I watched some of an episode with my grandma, and it was one with an orgy. And I had to, after that, I was like, I can't do this.
Can I ask you how that conversation went? Like, hey, Grandma, you want to watch The Witcher together?
No, she wanted to watch it. She wanted to watch it with me. She was already watching The Witcher. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, there's like a bunch of people in masks, like, sucking on each other. And it's like, I'm right next to her, and I'm just like, this is not for me.
She's like, oh, it's definitely for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's some alluding there, yeah.
And then Luke,
she stayed in the room. I left.
Can you get your grandma on the show then, Guy? Can you make a cameo appearance and she can give us her thoughts?
Maybe.
Luke, do you get a chance to watch?
And I'm gonna watch when Liam Hemsworth joins the show.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, are you not gonna watch the show anymore because Liam Hemsworth?
I don't watch it anyway, but I'm gonna start watching it when Liam Hemsworth joins.
Okay, gotcha. So, guys, The Witcher Blood Origin released, and it has a big 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 12% audience score. I'm only hearing bad things about this show from both audiences and critics. Guys, do you think this lack of success for the Witcher spinoff is going to transfer over to season 3 of The Witcher?
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be shit.
Probably. I mean,
Like-
they haven't been stellar, have they?
Wait, let's be a little real here. This I think that's the other thing I noticed when I was watching it. The acting is not very good. Like I can't say that Henry Cavill is a great actor. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay,
like,
well, everyone has their takes.
well, no, but like
Everyone has their
you
opinions.
watch this fucking show and like you'll be like, oh, like
What does
You
your
know,
grandma think, guy? What does your grandma think?
Yeah.
What is she thinking?
Yeah, let's get her on Unfiltered. Come on now.
I don't know. I just don't. It's not for me. I think. I also just feel like keep video games away from movies and shows. Just keep them video games. I don't. I always hate it when they, Let's go back to the Super Mario movie, the original. As kind of a reminder. Never forget, if you will. Never again. Like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Luke, Rod, your thoughts?
I mean, it's a spinoff. So this is coming from someone who hasn't watched the first 2 seasons, but I mean, I've heard the first 2 seasons are actually pretty good and watchable. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to carry over to season 3. Now, when Liam Hemsworth joins the show, it might be a little different, but I think for the remaining seasons that Henry Cavill's there, I think it'll be fine.
Luke?
Look, I didn't even know this came out, so that should tell you how much
Oh,
how much traction I think this is getting in the community in general. That I'm not seeing it anywhere.
And then just in chat real quick, Jack Renault, of course. Yep. Thank you,
Jack
Jack. And then
Renault.
Montana. Happy New Year, Montana.
Bruce.
Happy New Year to everyone watching. Thank you again. And then let's move on to our next topic now. We're going to go over to some box office coverage for Avatar 2, of course. Puss in Boots gave it a run for its money, folks. It did. It was close. I was rooting for it. But some box office news that we got as of recently. Avatar 2 projected to be the #1 grossing film of the year, beating Top Gun Maverick. I'm sorry, Luke. And then it's also
That's
projected,
okay.
obviously, to get a big holiday weekend haul of $87 million. Right now, it's around $445 million domestically projected. It's going to overtake Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then it's projected to beat Top Gun Maverick both domestically and worldwide as well. Rod, I'm going to go to you. Your thoughts on Avatar's performance thus far, and do you think it's just going to keep going from here? Do you think it's because obviously we saw with the first Avatar, it wasn't very impressive first weekend, second weekend, third weekend, but it was that longevity it had going from week to week, and then overall, we saw it gross, the most money any movie has ever grossed. So your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, we just talked about this on our podcast for our spoiler review for Avatar. That I didn't think it was gonna hit 2 billion, but I thought it was gonna make Spider-Man No Way Home money, which is like 1.9 billion. So I think it's gonna hit around there. But I mean, seeing this, I mean, it could hit 2 billion because there's something else coming out in theaters until February that could really challenge it. So I mean, I think it's just gonna keep on going until Ant-Man the Wasp comes out. So.
And the word of mouth is tremendous for it. People are really, it's an experience movie, like the first one. It's a movie that most people aren't going for the lore, for the characters, but because it's, the sort of movie that you need to see regardless if you like the characters or not. It's just such an experience. Luke?
Yeah, as a newly reformed Avatar fan, I think this is good news because then it means we're probably going to get 4 and 5 made. Because they did say that if this one does well, they will go full on ahead with 4 and 5. Will it hit 2 billion? Maybe. I don't think it will have the legs that the first one had, just because it's been 13 years. People aren't that impressed anymore. But still. So this tech demo with a slightly different story than the first, I think there's And if it overtakes Top Gun Maverick, fair enough.
It was a good run, though, Luke. I think we can both agree
run.
that Top Gun's run, it was remarkable, and what it was able to do at the box office, it was tremendous to see. And I talked about it during my review of Top Gun that people who never talked to me about movies before, people who I had no idea who knew anything about movies, were coming up to me and saying, "Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?" So just a quick shout out to that movie because I still believe Avatar 2. It's a good movie, and I wish it all the success in the world.
I think
Top Gun Maverick, that's my horse.
I think it's really going to change the game. Avatar 2 in porn. Let's just be real here.
It's not wrong.
you know that this box office will make people like, we got to paint them blue.
Yeah.
Come on.
Guy, are you a Metcaina or a Omaticaya man?
I don't know what that is, but
Metcaina are the water people.
but I remember what
Omaticaya are
happened
the
after
tree
Cats,
people.
and I know
Different
what's gonna happen
categories.
after this. What?
Nothing. All right, guys.
Different categories.
50 Shades of Blue.
All right. Oh, Dakota Johnson.
I like Zoe
right? Your
Saldana.
girl, 50 Shades of Blue. New.
Don't bring that into existence, Alex. Don't even.
Guys, now we're gonna go over to our big topic for today. Like you saw in the thumbnail, we're gonna be celebrating the end of 2022 movie style. We had a lot of great movies, a lot of TV series, and we're gonna be talking about each subcategory, whether it be best movie of the year, most surprising, most disappointing. We're gonna talk about all that and more. But before I get to that, guys, what are your overall thoughts on the year of 2022 for movies? Did it surpass your expectations? Was it a bit more disappointing than you thought going in? What are your overall thoughts generally?
I think it was really a great year for movies, for coming back to theaters and such. One, I have to say it, for one of my new favorite movies, The Batman, came out. And that to me was like the first, like, that was like, I felt like, wow, DC's really starting to do something again. And so I was really proud. Like, I feel like it brought a lot back, like, kind of, I don't know, just like a more artistic look in the movies and not as like much Marvel stuff. And there was Marvel films, but I think it also taught Marvel they need to step up their game a bit, because, there's just like, also The Fabelmans. That's like my favorite movie that came out this year.
Yeah, spoilers for one of our next categories.
Oh,
it's all good. Rod and Luke.
The Fable Mids.
Oh.
No, it's good. It's good.
Rod and Luke.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not my favorite year, but I kind of actually preferred last year to this year.
Whoa,
I do, just being honest, but I still think like the tail end of this year was really, really strong. As a comic book fan, I was kind of disappointed this year with Marvel just a little bit, that films like Thor: Love and Thunder, and that was just a disappointment. But I mean, Guy mentioned
really
the Batman, and I think like the Batman is just, you take that, you compare it to the 3 Marvel films, it's better than all 3 Marvel films combined, honestly.
Wait, what came out? It was Thor?
Yeah, Thor, Black Panther, and Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Don't forget the TV shows.
I wasn't even going to get to the TV shows.
That was this year? Oh my God. That was a really forgettable movie. It's really bad.
I mean, like, compared to other MCU years, like, I'll defend Phase 4, but I mean, this year it's been one of Marvel's weaker years. But I mean, the Batman, kind of like what Guy was saying, it's next level.
Perfect.
I mean, in my opinion, it's the perfect Batman movie. I don't want to get into the debate of whether it's better than The Dark Knight or not. For me personally, I loved it, and it's not my favorite movie of the year, but it's close. Yeah. But yeah, I think the tail end of this year was really strong. I think certain blockbusters were kind of, it was hit or miss with some. And I think also it was a strong year for horror too. I think horror had a really strong year this year. There was a lot of really good horror movies.
Luke?
Yeah, I think it was probably the best year for movies since 2019.
I agree.
I don't know. Yeah, because I think just more was coming out. The more things that were delayed during the pandemic were getting out. Sure, there's still some big releases that would have come out earlier if not for the pandemic. And next year is like the first big year since, I think.
Yeah.
They're all being filmed like post-COVID or right at the end. But yeah, like someone, I forgot who mentioned that towards the end of the year, like stuff really started coming in, like your Banshees, your Tar, your Glass Onion, stuff like that. Is real mix for me in my top 10 blockbusters and not so blockbusters. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, 2022 is, I think, my favorite post-COVID year and my favorite year so far in the new decade that we have had. I think that a lot of people for 2023, do you guys think the slate that we have for 2023 is more impressive than the one we had for 2022?
I mean, as far as like big releases, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay. I think everyone thinks that. I'm the only one who thinks
Big
the opposite.
releases,
What,
like
in
this-
terms of like what's on the big
Just
slate?
movies in general. Big releases. I'll get a picture up in a sec.
Yeah,
but
just show, I want to like.
I think this
then
is
I'll
how it
make
is
a
every year. Big
determination.
releases, and then like the smaller ones that you don't know about yet, like Banshees. I didn't know about that at the
We're
beginning of
having a
this year,
Barry Levinson.
and then it
Godfather
pops
movie.
up later in the year.
Still
So
waiting for that. I'm still waiting for that Groucho Marx movie, Raised Eyebrows. It's,
So we have a lot of stuff. We have like the new Hunger Games movie, Indiana Jones, Shazam.
that's gonna be crap. I'm already calling it.
Okay. Megan, which people are excited for. I don't know
What's
why.
Megan? Is that like
shout out to Dave.
is that like a
the,
Meg Griffin?
That's the
solo
killer
movie?
doll, the Chucky ripoff. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a Meg Griffin solo movie.
I think the reason that 2022 for me, I was more excited for the movies. Honestly, this might seem pretty bare bones, but the main reason I think I was more excited for the movies in 2022 compared to 23, specifically blockbuster wise, was because the Batman came out, and that, like I mentioned, was my most like anticipated movie of my lifetime. And so 2023, you have Indiana Jones, of course, which is my most anticipated of the year, strictly based off of my love for the franchise. But yeah, for me, 2022 was a lot more anticipated just because of basically just the Batman. The Fablemans came out, of course. But of course, next year we have Clears the Flower Moon. So we have Martin Scorsese coming back. So this year we
finally.
have Spielberg. Next year we have, hopefully next year. I don't want to. Hopefully I'm right.
Another De Niro quickie.
Yeah, I think we have like Nolan, Scorsese, and Fincher all coming out with films next year.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and people forget that Brendan Fraser's in Killers of the Flower Moon, which is crazy. People are like, oh, you know.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He is in Killers of the Flower Moon as well, which is crazy. And like Rod mentioned, Oppenheimer, which is, I think would you think it's the best cast ever put together?
I mean, I think so. I mean, that's my most anticipated movie for
Maybe.
next year. But yeah, I think so. I mean, it's basically
What I
like
found
in
funny
Hollywood.
about the Oppenheimer trailer was the cast is so good. And I'm not just throwing shade at this movie. I just
go
found it
out
funny.
with a bang.
But Josh Peck had a solid two shots.
Okay, Alex, I had the exact same thought.
Oh,
like,
no.
out of everybody in this movie, you show Josh Peck for
Dude,
like 2 or 3.
I think it was.
You
You
gotta
think it was a
cover all
marketing tool?
audiences.
You think it was a marketing tool? Like
Oh, yeah.
people are gonna see it and be like, "Oh shit, that's
That's
Josh.
Peck, yeah.
That's gonna be the guy who
Drake,
hit Oprah."
Where's the bomb?
It's gonna be like,
Nice.
"Oh shit, that's the guy
Robert,
who hit Oprah."
where's the bomb?
I expected, you know how Josh does that thing in Drake and Josh where he says something and then he repeats it in a really cartoony, in like
Yeah.
angry fashion, where
Whatever
he's
happened
like,
to
Oppenheimer, something like that.
Whatever happened to Drake?
Let's not get into that.
What happened?
You
I
can
remember
look that
he
up
was
on your
like
own
my
time.
childhood Spider-Man. What happened to Drake?
Asteroid
don't
City,
wanna
that's
say it.
Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson coming back. I know Jack was a big fan of French Dispatch. I wasn't, but this is Tom Hanks in a Wes Anderson movie. So, what's
It's
not
also
to love?
Goldblum. So
Yeah.
Well, he's in like all of them.
yeah, but he's the goat.
Like, that's not special. That's like
But it's Goldblum.
that's just something he does.
Okay, guys. Now we're gonna move on. We have a ton of prompts for our end of year kind of conversation. First, we're gonna get to best comic book material of 2022. Obviously, not actual physical, because we're not educated here. We don't talk about books. We're talking about TV series and movies.
Yeah.
Rod, I'm gonna go to you as the comic book expert in the stream.
The Batman.
All right, Luke. I think we're all in agreement. Maybe
Yeah.
Luke.
It's
I think the season that the show really went mainstream and full on with the
Oh.
memes. I'm gonna go with The Boys. because
Interesting. Great pick.
okay. Okay.
It keeps getting better and better every season,
Mm,
and I
great
just
pick.
want to see more.
Are you
Let-
excited for Gen V?
Yeah, I'll give it a try for sure.
And then Guy.
This is tough. Because I'm incorporating another like. I want to do a show and I want to do okay. So obviously the main one is the Batman. That was the bet. But if I was going to give a shout, it'd be Peacemaker
Oh yes.
because that was 2022,
I forgot it was
It was.
2022.
and that was like honestly the best fucking DC show they've ever made. That is hands down, just so good.
Yeah, Peacemaker's a really good one, but yeah, for me it's the Batman. The Boys I
Batman.
love too, but definitely the Batman. And the Penguin show's coming out next year, right?
So no, they're
Is it?
starting to shoot next year.
I don't.
I thought
So
they already
they-
started to shoot.
No, they
I
are.
think
They
it's-
I
finished.
don't know.
writing. I think they're in pre-production, but production starts in like January or March.
They're saying it's possible it can come out like towards the end of this year, but I think it's gonna be 2024.
Gotcha.
I would like them to take their time.
Yeah. All right, now let's move on. Best horror movie of 2022. Of course, Rod mentioned that there's a lot of great horror. I'll go first. I thought Bones and All was the best horror movie of 2022. I think you'd count that as horror, right? It's listed as horror. I mean,
if it's listed as horror, then
I think it's
sure.
horror. I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
Is Nope
okay.
a horror?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I think so. But yeah, I loved Bones and All. It was in I have 3 horror movies in my top 10 of the year and a bunch of others as honorable mentions. It's been a great year for that. And Bones and All, I really, really was surprised by. It was a really sentimental, really relatable movie, which is amazing considering it's like about cannibals in this like different kind of world. And I found it. Luca Guadagnino, I'm not huge on Call Me by Your Name. I like it. I don't love it. And then I haven't seen Suspiria, but I was really surprised by Bones and All. It's definitely my best horror movie. It's also really scary. Speaking of horror, I thought the actual gory elements, like Mark Rylance, whenever he speaks, I was about to do an accent for Mark Rylance in the movie, but I just can't quite get there. Maybe Luke can.
You don't like Sully.
That's good. Attaboy, Luke. And Rod, your thoughts? Best horror movie of the year?
This was tough because I haven't finished my top 10 yet. We're recording that episode next week, but like after I saw Bodies, I was like, yeah, that's my favorite horror movie of the year. Right now, though, I want to say Barbarian. I think Barbarian might be the best horror film of the year because it came out of nowhere. I remember seeing like that one trailer. I was like, this looks okay. I mean, Justin Long's in it. I mean, who knows, right? And then it just completely. I mean, it was one of my favorite theater experiences of the year. I think her name's Regina Campbell. She was great in the film. And then Justin Long comes in, and it's like it just takes it up another notch. There's like this whole little backstory with him, but a lot of good scares, and it kind of subverts your expectations. You think it's going to go one way, kind of goes in a different direction. It becomes something else. Bill Skarsgård is in it too, and you kind of think one way about him, and it kind of goes in a different direction. So yeah, I'm going to say Barbarian for right now.
Barbarian, I'm seeing it on everybody's list too. Like I didn't love it. I thought it was okay, but everybody loves Barbarian. I'm seeing it on everyone's like most surprising movies, best horror. So it's everywhere. Luke?
Yeah, Bones and All is in my top 10. Just for your information, very gory stuff. But I have Nope, which is my number 6 of the year. I liked it less for the horror aspects, maybe more like it's like a modern day Jaws kind of thing. I like the alien side of it. It was a really great theater experience. I think the score really elevated at some points, and I think it's Peele's second best. I don't think he'll ever top Get Out, but I think that's his number 2.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a very divisive movie. I've met a lot of. Do you think it's more divisive than Us?
I think it is.
I think so. People generally liked Us, I think.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, let's move over to our next category because I know Guy hasn't seen any horror this year. Not even gonna try. Best supporting performance of 2022. I'll start here because for me it's easy. It's Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans because she's supporting. I'm not gonna go by this stupid what they're campaigning her as because she is supporting. I thought her performance was great. Now I was surprised to see coming out of TIFF. I thought it was hands down the best of the year, supporting wise. But I'm hearing a lot of people that actually don't like the performance, saying it's over the top, and I can see that. But for me, I thought I thought she definitely fit, especially as a person who has a lot of kind of mental health problems in the film. And I thought that she did a great job. I thought she was definitely an emotional wrecking ball, and she was the heart of the film. And you could tell how Spielberg's kind of how he sees her now is different than how he saw her when he was a kid. And obviously you see that through Sammy Fabelman's eyes. So I definitely want to give it to Michelle Williams here.
I agree. I would also give it to Michelle Williams. I think she was just so brilliant. And I think for people who say it's so over the top, you watch the actual documentary about Spielberg's life, and that was who she was. Like, that was legit that person. Like, she was like really into like having adventures and being artistic and like, and zany.
Yeah, let me just do that for Jack.
That was the person. Oh yeah, the Horizon thing. Fuck. I can't do that. I'm in a corner. Look at Rod. Rod's Horizon. He's really nailing it with that. Oh my God. Look at him with that shelf and stars above his shelf.
Beautiful guy.
It's like
Beautiful.
a sky.
Just a
That's
quick
some
story.
Spielberg shit right there, guys. Rod's a filmmaker.
Just a quick story, kind of going
Alex,
off.
take some notes.
Going off a bit. Well, this is the thing. When I saw the Fablemans for the first time, you know how David Lynch asks Sammy Fableman, he's like, "Oh, where's the horizon?" And he's trying to figure out where the horizon was. In my mind, I was trying to answer the question because I'm like, "Oh, let me see if I can answer it." And I said that the horizon was off the painting. That would have been my answer.
You overthought it.
I did overthink it, and I could only think to myself after he got it right in the movie, and he said it was what at the top. Well, that's the in the middle was the answer, right?
No.
There's multiple examples.
There's multiple,
No.
whatever.
There's like
I just
three
felt like
things.
such an
Or the
idiot. I'm like,
bottom.
I'm never gonna make it now. I felt like because
Yeah,
if I was in that
notes.
situation, John
Take
Ford
notes
would
from
have.
Rod. See,
Yeah.
Rod's doing it right.
But Rod and Luke.
A cognac
I'm saying
at
you're
Rod's
doing it
closet.
right. You're just doing it wrong.
Rod and Luke, your favorite supporting performances?
I'll just go first. But to kind of piggyback off what you were saying about Michelle
Yeah,
Williams,
sure.
when I saw the Fablemans, because I saw it, I clearly came. I think that
Yeah.
news that came out about her, she was campaigning for Best Actress.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, good for her. And then I saw the movie. I was like, why the hell is she doing this? Like, she would have had that nominate. She would have had that category on lock. I mean, that
Yeah.
would have been.
Would have
on
won
there
it.
for
She
her.
had it
She would
locked
have.
down if she did supporting.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna go with Alex Arnos, Dakota Johnson, and Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Well, we all know
very-
it's why.
surprise. Very down to earth, emotional performance. One of her best. I think it's the best of her.
We all know that
career.
if there's an auction of 50 Shades of Grey props from the room, we all know who would be a top bidder.
You next time we see Rod, everything
We all know
the
that.
clothing
We
he
all
has
know
is
that
black.
mask that she wears. You'd be like $500,000.
How do you know? How you don't
It's
know? I
like-
already have it, guys.
It's like
I
that
already-
Bruce
I could
Wayne
already have
scene
it.
in Gotham. where
I
he's
would not
doing-
be surprised. That's going to be in your estate sale when you die. And they won't know what to do with it.
Christ.
They just won't know.
But you said Rod. So you said Dakota Johnson, and then Luke, your favorite.
I have a few that I could go with,
Mm.
like Bad Bunny and Bullet Train. But I think I'm gonna go with Rachel Sennett in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah. she's
Oh,
good.
whoa! What a surprise pick.
Yeah, I think she was just very funny in that incredibly over the top, like you need to be in a movie like that. And that one scene about where she's going on about her podcast is just brilliant.
She was really good in the movie. I thought she was my favorite performance in the movie. It was a really good movie. Great performances all around, but she was definitely my favorite in it. Let's move on now. Best performance of 2022. So lead particularly, or if you had a supporting performance, like if Rod's Dakota Johnson pick, it's also his favorite overall performance
Wrong.
of 2020.
I got one.
I'll go
Wrong.
first. My
Okay.
favorite performance of 2022 was Kate Blanchett and Tar. No, I didn't actually love Tar as much as
Gotta change my
many
answer
other
now.
people did. Bad Bunny is so well. I thought he was okay, but Luke clearly loved him in the movie. I really loved Kate Blanchett in Tar. I didn't love Tar, but I loved her performance in it. I thought it was really down to earth, really realistic. There's that one scene where she's teaching that kid how to play the piano.
That was so
And
good.
Dude, it's so good. And when the scene starts, because obviously I'm pretty sure it's like a one-shot scene.
It's one take, the whole
Yeah.
thing.
And you're like, where is this going? And then it gets more and more tense, and you realize like what her lesson to this kid actually is. And it's I think that her performance is really, really great. I think Tar's the type of movie where you don't really know necessarily where it's gonna go. You think it's gonna be more of like a Whiplash about music, but it's not necessarily like directly about that. It's definitely a character study in what the character goes through, and what she has to deal with at the. I was on her side for most of the movie. I'm like, oh, get out of here with this bullshit. You know, she's a great composer. And then all this stuff came out, and then you see her kind of get more frazzled and you see more of like a crazy side. But obviously, it's not like over the top where she's like yelling every single scene. She's very subdued, and I really loved her in that movie. And I definitely think she deserves the Oscar when she gets it.
Okay. All right. My favorite performance was Chris Rock at the Oscars. Really. He was so strained. You have to be impressed. You have to
Subdued.
You have,
But
to, you have to
yeah.
applaud. He really was. Now, I would say my favorite performance of 2022.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me. Come
Luke?
back to me.
Yeah, I have to
I'm
agree
gonna get a
with you.
root beer in the meantime. I'll be back in a second. Let me just.
I also have
get
Kate
it going.
Blanchett as my favorite performance. There are a few movies I haven't seen, which
Mhm.
people have been talking Brendan Fraser a lot lately. But yeah, I had to go with Kate Blanchett. It's hard to get angry, screaming acting right, and she
Yeah.
did it really well.
Rod?
And of course, that bullying scene was just
It's so good. Rod?
Yeah, mine's also Kate Blanchett.
Whoa. Interesting.
I loved her in that movie. I loved her too. That's gonna be on my top 10 films of the year.
Interesting.
So yeah, amazing. I think she's a lock.
Mm.
I think if anyone could challenge her, it's Michelle Yeoh for the Oscar. But
Yeah.
I think Kate Blanchett's gonna take it. I do want to say though, Danielle Detweiler in Till is
Okay.
a very close second. I loved her in that movie.
I haven't seen Till yet, but I heard she's really great in it. So
She kinda
I'll get on that.
Carries the movie because it turns into a very formulaic kind of biopic.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a very hard watch, but she makes it worth watching.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser was my number 2, by the way, Luke. He was up there. Austin Butler was up there as well. Guy, do you have an answer after your quick root beer run?
Oh yes, I would say I don't know why I just loved this movie so much. I really like and maybe it's just out of like I don't know, a personal connection with the movie, but I really liked I forgot the kid's name who played Sammy Fableman.
Gabriel LaBelle.
Yeah, I really just loved his performance. Like I just loved he did have that that kind of like that teenage years wonder that you don't really see in a lot of movies. And nowadays, whenever you see a teenager in a movie, they look like Jughead from Riverdale, and they're all like broody and sad, and they got like grease all over their faces, and their hair is all black, and they wear mascara. And it's awful. This was a classic. You know, this was something like I actually enjoyed watching. I bought him. I connected with him. You know, I know what it's like to go through like a really like painful divorce and holding back secrets, and I really it was very heavy for me. I loved his performance. That was my favorite.
Definitely. And if it were
where'd you go?
According to me, I would definitely I would definitely campaign. They're not campaigning Gabriel LaBelle hard for lead actor, but if I had my way, I definitely would. As we head over now to best TV series of 2022.
Oh,
Luke, we heard your favorite comic material of the year was a TV show. Is that answer the same for this subcategory?
I don't think it is. I'm trying to think what I saw this year. I think there were 3 main shows. There was Saul, Dragon, and The Boys. And out of those 3, it has to be Better Call Saul, right? Oh, yeah, it has to be. Season 6 over season 1 of House of the Dragon. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Better Call Saul season 6. I watched the entirety of Better Call Saul in like a month. That was quite an experience, and that final season really lived up to everything that came before. I think I'll appreciate it more on the rewatch, but yeah, for now, Better Call Saul season 6.
Yeah, my favorite show was the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. No, I'm fucking with you. My favorite show was it's a TV show. My favorite, I would have to say that my favorite show was Peacemaker. I just loved it.
Okay, I'll go to mine now. I'll go to.
What was that not enough for the listeners at home? Was that it?
Maybe you gotta.
Was it for enough for Jack Renault? I don't think it was.
No, it was not.
Nothing's enough for him.
I'll go to Better Call Saul as my favorite as well. I don't think it's close. There was a lot of great TV stuff. And we talked a bit about 2023. I saw like a Watch Mojo list of top 10 like most anticipated shows.
Watch Mojo,
and most of it was like so
God.
For me. I was like, we had a great year of shows. Next year, I think is going to be other than Succession season 3, which like I can't even like wait for. Other than that, I think it's a pretty weak slate. But this year was great for shows. I had a ton, but Better Call Saul, that tells you how good Better Call Saul was. That the fact that I didn't even hesitate. This show is so good, and that final season capped everything off so well. Better Call Saul is such a smart show. It's so I don't know how Vince Gilligan does it. Like it's the smartest writing I've ever seen. The way he kind of puts characters into a corner and makes them do things that they don't want to do that benefit their character arcs. Saul's entire arc here, especially in that last episode, are just mind blowing. And Kim Wexler as well. Love. So glad Rhea Seehorn finally got some attention from the awards, from the Emmys. and the entire cast, like Tony Dalton as Lalo, Jonathan Banks as Mike, of course Giancarlo Esposito as Gus. It's a great cast. It's an amazing show. I'm still blown away by it. Rod?
That's like one of my main goals for 2023, like watching wise, is just to kind of binge all of Better Call Saul, because I've
Have you
watched
seen
Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen Breaking Bad. I haven't gotten around to watching Better Call Saul yet. So that's like one of my one of my first shows I watched for 2023. But I'm kind of between two shows for number one, between Euphoria season 2 and The White Lotus season 2, and I'm gonna go with the White
Somebody's
Lotus.
into Sydney Sweeney.
White Lotus season 2, guys. Season 2. She's not in season 2. She is in season 1.
Watch season 1.
She is in season 1. She was great in season 1.
She was great.
Yeah, season 2 of The White Lotus was really good. I really liked that first season. I was like, I don't know if they're going to be able to top it. New location, and they're not really bringing back anyone from the first season except for Jennifer Coolidge, and they managed to do it. I thought where the first season kind of explored money and wealth, this was all about relationships, and I really kind of dug that. So, and the location, they were in Sicily for this season, so I dug it a lot.
They actually, I saw some background information about it yesterday when I was watching a video. Mike White described the season as like, he called it sexual politics, which is like obviously it sounds weird, but when you see the show, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense, because it's crazy. Like, it's crazy that they kind of went that far with kind of those aspects. And it was, I really liked White Lotus season 2. I was a bit kind of late. I binged both seasons as of recently, but especially that last episode is insanity. Like, it goes so dark. Like that last episode, like especially the Jennifer Coolidge storyline. It's like, because I was like, I have no idea where they were going. I thought it was a pretty like boring storyline till the last episode where I'm like, what the hell? Like,
if you stick with it, you get a nice payoff with it.
You do.
The payoff was really good.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed The White Lotus. As we head now to our next category, most surprising movie of 2022. Luke, I'll go to you first.
I think maybe Everything Everywhere All at Once. No one expected it to be that good, and then it was. So I'm gonna probably go with that as mine.
Gotcha. For me, my most surprising was Bros, which is a movie that I saw it at TIFF, and I expected to hate it because I did not like the trailer at all. I thought it looked like really cheesy and just not my cup of tea in terms of comedy. But then I saw it and I thought it was really funny. I thought that the movie
underrated.
I thought it was really underrated. It did terrible box office wise, but I thought I really enjoyed it. I thought the performance is really good.
It didn't release here. Fun fact.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can pirate it. I thought it was really good, and I'm not afraid to say it because a lot of people don't like that movie. Rod, we'll go to you next.
Oh, okay.
I'm between. It's tough because I loved Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I thought that was a nice surprise because I'm really I don't like any Pinocchio stuff at all. And that was really good.
You don't like Pinocchio?
I
What's
could
your
care
problem
less.
with puppets?
I could care less about that wooden fucking puppet. But I'm gonna say Terrifier 2.
Whoa, Terrifier 2.
I was between that and Scream 5. But Terrifier 1, I just watched both of those like back to back in October, I believe. And I liked Terrifier 1. I thought it was really gross. It was disgusting. But the characters were kind of like, It was really all just about the blood and the gore. Whereas the sequel, I thought, I kind of liked how they took their time with the characters. And I thought the kills were creative. It was entertaining. And it got a bit emotional. Like, I was emotionally satisfied by the end of it. So I'm gonna say Terrifier 2.
Luke?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh shit! I forgot.
And they call him the host.
Guy.
You know a movie that surprised me? Thor: Love and Thunder. What surprised me was how bad it was.
I think we have a category for that one, guy.
Oh, we do? Hold on. Oh shit. No, I don't really have a movie that surprised me. They all kind of. It was like, oh wow.
This guy's expectations are always set at the right amount.
You know what,
Alex? I'm sorry, guy.
Thank you. I usually Okay. I usually fuck you.
Rod, we're gonna have a different pick there.
I usually just keep my expectations low, but not low enough for me to not try to like it. But,
Rod, you said were you gonna have a different pick there?
No, I just wanted to mention I forgot, I'm forgetting the guy's name. The guy from The Office who plays Ryan.
BJ Novak.
Yeah, his movie.
Blowjob Novak. I had to do it. I had to do it.
Didn't hit as hard. Yeah, I like Vengeance as well, Rod. Let's go on now.
Because he had to shorten it to get into Hollywood.
Most disappointing movie of 2022.
That's like legit blowjob. He's like,
so I'll go first on this one because the movie's already been mentioned.
To go into Hollywood.
I was immensely disappointed by Thor: Love and Thunder. Immensely disappointed. That movie was because I really love all. Well, I guess the most recent Thor material. I love
So
Thor
the one
Ragnarok.
movie.
I love Thor Ragnarok. I really loved him in Infinity War and somewhat Endgame. And I was so excited for Thor Love and Thunder. The casting of Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. Taika Waititi coming back to direct. But I sat there and I was so surprised at how much I hated this movie. I was like, oh my God, like this movie tired me out. The jokes I thought were severely unfunny. Like really the goat thing I thought it was so unfunny. I thought the movie was a mess in terms of like tonally. You had the Jane like cancer storyline, which was like barely like 2 scenes of that. And then you have Gore the God Butcher, which you get like 2 scenes of him. And he's called Gore the God Butcher, but you don't even like you see him butcher one god at the very beginning of the movie. I think they really did the character a lot of injustice because I thought Christian Bale in that role could have been one of the better MCU villains. And that thing with the kids, you have obviously the meme of the kid's face. It's such a bad shot. It's the one of Heimdall's son's face.
And they redid it. They made it worse.
It was so bad. Wait, share your screen, Luke, when you search up that picture because I need to go.
Okay.
Dude, it's so bad. And then the end, I was really disappointed. I thought it was just way too much. And I loved Ragnarok. And people told me if you love Ragnarok, you're going to love Love and Thunder. That was not the case with me. Which goes to show you how bad I thought this movie was and how much I was really tired. Like, it's one of those movies that made my head hurt. Like, I was hurting.
What made Ragnarok so good was like what he did a good job of like blending like the dark and the humor. Whereas this one, it was just a full on joke for about 95% of the movie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
oh my God, man!
Why does it look like a kid, the 21 kid? 21.
Oh my God, it kind of does.
I agree. I hated Thor: Love and Thunder. I agree. I would call it a headache movie, a migraine movie. It's really hard to get through, and it's also like Taika is usually so good at grounding, like not grounding at all, but like he's good at balancing comedy and like really like look at Jojo Rabbit.
Yep.
And that was such a beautiful combination of comedy and tragedy. And you would think he would be able to do that with Christian Bale's character. And also, out of any MCU film in the last like 5 years, this one feels the most studio control. Like they cut out. You could feel that they cut so much out of it. And it was just not good. It was a bad movie. Like I really want to love MCU films, and this was just horrible. I mean, and some of the jokes were so bad. Like that naked scene where he brushes the clothes off. I was like, that's so lowbrow. Like you could do it like I just expect more from Taika. I really was disappointed. Like I was very disappointed.
And it's interesting now that you have Chris Hemsworth saying that he'll only come back to do another Thor movie if they go for a more kind of grounded, more kind of
because even
not necessarily
like,
dark, but more serious direction with
mature.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry I keep standing up. By the way, my ass is so sweaty from this leather chair. And it is
hell,
Luke
must be the backdrop.
What?
Just to switch things up, I'm gonna go for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. When I was watching that,
Rod is about to like kill us.
when I was watching,
I
that,
didn't know
was like,
Dakota Johnson was in that, or Sydney Sweeney.
she might be. It's a multiverse after all. Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, Jesus, this is going by so fast. We just slow down, man. Slow down. And I did not find Wanda too convincing as like a villain. It felt too rushed. Like, oh yeah, she's super evil now. She like had a bit of a redeeming thing towards the end of WandaVision, but now she's back. And then the stupid Tommy and Billy song, like, oh, we want ice cream.
I mean, that was better than what they did in the movie. Props to you, Luke. Props to you.
I have to say that the Wanda character, I don't know how Marvel did it, but it made it for the character I care the least about, all the way to the character I'm the most annoyed with seeing on the fucking screen. It went from oh, Scarlet Witch is here, all right, to oh fuck, her again. Like, that was when you go to that transition to try to let us get to know your B-list characters, and it sucks. I mean, that means you're in some trouble. And on top of that, the most disappointing fan service thing I've ever seen, the Illuminati. What the fuck? Like, well, come on. Like, I mean, you get John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. You know, he's in the suit.
They even mentioned that he's the smartest man in the world.
Yeah.
If they didn't mention that, I would have been like, kind of okay.
How'd he fucking get killed by someone that's not the smartest person in the world? That's stupid. All right, that's stupid. This is a stupid man. And then on top of that, the way Professor X was like, oh, and just like, you know, he's dumb. And the way Black Bolt died, it was like he killed himself by accident. How stupid are these people? Like, this is a team of like the coolest motherfuckers in the world, and yet all of them get killed in like 5 minutes. All right. And then they made that one character because they still want people to like Captain Marvel, even though that's fucking impossible. And they just try to shoehorn her in. And everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" Because you know that when you were in that theater, they cheered for every single.
Yes, exactly. Captain Carter got massive cheers, and then she got no cheers.
Right? Who the fuck is that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows because nobody cares.
Dude, it's the way they shot it. Almost like you like.
It was like they had Mr. Fantastic.
Dude, it's almost like if we did an unfiltered episode. Let me did an unfiltered episode. If it was like Sean Chandler, John Campia, and then you have just like
YOLO movie review. Okay, let's go. You were taking too long, so I wanted to finish.
Oh my god!
I love that. Big J, little J.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as I was saying, it's like you see, as I'm gonna let them clean themselves up. But it's like it's the most disappointing thing in your life.
I'm sorry for all the viewers out there who
you see they don't care.
This is supposed to be an educational.
You see all these.
I know
like,
Jack's losing it right now.
Captain Carter, Professor X, Captain Marvel, and it's like, who the fuck cares? Like, it's like, get fucking Namor, get Iron Man, get like a Tom Cruise Iron Man. That's what we want. Do you know what's the craziest part? The person that everyone thought was Tom Cruise's Iron Man turned out to be Captain Marvel in the trailer. And it's like, that makes it even more disappointing.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse.
Rod, we're going to go to you quickly.
Okay.
Rod, you can't defend that movie.
I mean, I will do my best eventually. I can't, after that whole thing, I can't. I'm not even going to try, but I'm going to go with Amsterdam. I mean, talk about, like we were talking about earlier, about
another
Alex,
flawless De Niro
impressive. God damn it, guy! Even here, you just interrupt me. I swear to God. Anyway, yeah, Amsterdam. I'm just gonna say that before Guy interrupts me again.
And then, so what? I haven't seen Amsterdam. Have you guys seen Amsterdam?
I haven't seen it.
I
knew it was terrible from the first trailer.
I've seen it on HBO Max. You can go see it there.
What's so bad about it? Because I actually haven't seen it. I have no idea. Like, what?
Just
to me, like, the story is just not interesting at all, and it's kind of just a slog. And I love John David Washington. I think he's got a ton of charisma. And here, he's just like, I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry. honestly.
You can log it on
That's
Letterboxd.
so funny.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna move on now. Worst movie of 2022. We're gonna go back to Rod here. What is your worst movie of 2022?
I really want to say they them.
Oh, they.
'Cause they them
Oh.
was really really fucking bad. But I'm gonna.
What's your problem with they thems?
I'm not gonna respond to that. I'm gonna go with Blonde though. Blonde was that was a hard movie to sit through. I had to pause it like 3 times. I almost wanted to cut it off. I was like, I'll stick through it. What the hell was that movie? And I give Ana de Armas all the props in the world. I thought she was not the problem with that movie, but they didn't need to go that graphic. They really didn't.
Oh, that Marilyn. Oh,
yeah, the Marilyn Monroe.
I agree with him. That I saw that. That was horrible. That was horrible. It was so bad. I mean, it was like they couldn't pick whether they wanted to be in black and white or color. That bugs me alone. Okay, because it's like just pick one, pick a lane, and then on top of that, the blood shit. I'm like, Jesus, like, come on. Like, I'm trying to watch a movie about one of the great, actresses that died tragically, and yet I have to see all this other shit, and it's and I felt like it was also like I was very confused when they casted her, and then on top of that, like, she's like, there were points where she didn't have the accent, and there were points where she did, and it was just so inconsistent and confusing to me. And I was just like, this is awful. This is really like, it's just a bad it's boring, and it's just, I honestly feel like if Marilyn Monroe was still alive, I don't think she would have wanted to be painted like that so graphically. Yeah. I don't think she would have wanted that. No actor or actress from that time, know.
And then Rod, I'm going to go back to you real quickly. I've been debating for they, them. I've been debating watching it just because, is it one of those movies that's so bad it's good, or is it just bad?
It's just bad.
Okay.
It's just bad.
I've heard a lot of things from that movie. And I saw it on Peacock. I saw it like...
that's when you know it's probably a bad movie when it goes right to Peacock. So,
mine is also Blonde, actually. My real one is 365 Days. This Day, I believe, which is the second one. I have not had the honor of seeing the third.
Oh, is that the one with the pussy putt?
It is the one with the famed.
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
And look, I like that is the worst movie of the year, but I'm not even gonna like try with that one because it's obviously it's not meant to be a good movie, right? It's just meant to basically be softcore porn. But Blonde was like, I found it incredibly disrespectful. I found it exploitative. I found it just a morally just incomprehensible movie. In terms of what damn, I'm forgetting the name of the director. Killing Them Softly. God, I'm forgetting his name. Andrew Dominic. Yeah, I just found it completely just so morally wrong, and especially what they did with Marilyn Monroe. Considering who she actually was in real life, and the accomplishments she had, the various obstacles that she overcame, that that didn't begin with the letter R, and I just found the movie to be a complete, just an utter like embarrassment to like the art form of cinema. Luke, I'm gonna go to you now.
So I didn't see Blonde, just because I didn't really want to. I'm gonna give you 3, just because I think all three of these I rated 1.5 stars. So at the bottom, Secrets of Dumbledore. I'm glad that franchise is pretty much officially dead.
That might be my biggest disappointment, actually. That was a huge disappointment.
We're not getting a 4th. Like,
no,
come on, no one's gonna see that. Then I have Pinocchio, the Zemeckis one, the Disney one. The less said about that, better. But at the third worst, I have The Gray Man, and I lowered this by half a star when they announced there was a sequel coming. I was like, I'm pissed off. I'm lowering the rating. They announced a sequel to this, and they tried the drone thing. They used it for like 4 shots, and it feels out of place. Look at what Michael Bay did with Ambulance. He like every second shot was a drone, and it worked.
Well, some it might have worked.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Rod, you a fan of The Gray Man?
I mean, look, it's not Shakespeare or anything, but for what it was, I mean, yeah, I was very entertained by it, and I thought Chris Evans was having a blast in the role. I like him when he plays a villain. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I get why Luke or people might say it's like Actually, no, I don't. Why would you say that? I don't get it. Help me out
You
here,
haven't
Luke.
seen
Help me
enough
out here.
movies. It's just bad.
Yeah.
The action was a bit underwhelming. The story was very dry. There's no characters to it other than, I'm Chris Evans. I have a mustache. I'm angry all the time.
Literally mustache twirling villain.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move on to our last category, best movie of 2022. Obviously, I'm going to go, I said The Fabelmans. You saw in my video, top 10 movies of 2022, so no surprise there. Guy, I know you love The Fabelmans. Is that your number one?
That's my number one. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, interesting.
Actually,
And-
you know what? You know what? I want to say one more thing. I love that movie, and one of the reasons I have to say this because it meant so much to me. This was the first movie I've ever seen. I'm a Jewish. I was raised in a Jewish home. That was the first movie where I've seen a Jewish family accurately depicted, or even just depicted where it wasn't comedic or offensive. That was the first time I've ever seen that. Like the second closest thing to that is Woody Allen. He does it comedically, but any other time I see a Jewish family done in any form of media, I always find it so offensive. And so that was like the first time where I was like, oh wow, they understand it. They get the close knittedness of a Jewish family, and that really resonated with me the most in that film.
Luke?
Yeah, I have to go for a movie named Top Gun Maverick. It just absolutely blew me away the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
I've watched it three times since, I think. 2 times in the same theater, one in London at View. Alex knows my thoughts on View Cinema.
The View Cinemas?
Yeah, and then once at home, and I'll definitely be watching it again. It's just, I find insane the lengths they went to just to shoot a movie. Like they got real jets. They went to the Navy. I watched the Directors on Directors with Ryan Johnson and Joe Kosinski. They went to the Navy and asked them to give them a list of like the hardest mission imaginable.
Wow. Wait, so that's how they came up with the mission?
Yeah, they said
Jeez, that's crazy.
aircraft carrier, low altitude, enemy territory, like weaving like between mountains, surface to air missiles. There was one thing that they didn't include. Can you guess what it was?
No.
That it's at night.
Wow. Okay. Well, I understand why they didn't do that for
Maybe in Top Gun 3.
Yeah.
If that gets made. But yeah.
I actually something I said in my review, which very interesting considering what you said, is that something I really enjoyed about Maverick was the lengths they went to explain to us the lengths that our pilots had to go on for the actual mission, and like explaining what they had to do in terms of like the big mountain and like with the enemy turrets as well, the fighter planes. I thought the way they explained that and the way they actually like spent time to get the viewer kind of interested and kind of connected to the actual mission. I thought that was one of my favorite parts of Maverick. Rod?
The Gray Man.
It's his number 2.
My runner-up. Cha-Cha Real Smooth. Still my favorite. I mean, it was my favorite coming out of Sundance in January. It hasn't really changed. The Batman and Top Gun, they're all great. They're on my top 5. Glass Onion. But Cha-Cha Real Smooth has just stuck with me since January and hasn't really changed. Cooper Rafe, guys. He's made 2 excellent movies. I mean, Shithouse is incredible.
I have to see Shithouse.
It's pretty average at best.
Ooh.
You know, Luke, I'm really like I've had about enough of you.
You really want him? He's in a closet, man. He can
Thank
only
you,
in a
God.
contained
Thank you.
space. You know, he's
Trying
just
to
a
get him
tiny
out.
little angry man. You
There's
know,
a flash. He's about to. It looks like Rod is about to turn into the Flash there in like a minute or 2.
Oh my God! Yeah, there is a flash suit.
There is.
He's gonna run over to Luke in Latvia. He'll pop up right behind you.
Oh, that's too far. I ain't
Even for the Flash. This guy. I guess this Earth's version of the Flash isn't our best version. Rod's not doing a great job.
Find somebody else.
All right, guys. Those are our best of and worst of 2022. It's been a great year. I think we can all agree on that. And
yes,
we can all. And then I think something I had that I not prompt related, but what is your guys' most anticipated movie of 2023?
The Gray Man 2.
Oh my God.
I don't think we're getting it this year.
Oh, what a shame.
Oppenheimer for me.
Okay, cool. Mine is Killers of the Flower Moon.
I would say the Flash movie.
I am anticipating that one. And honestly, it's supposed to be good though.
It's apparently
all,
really
all
good,
jokes
though.
aside,
People
it's
are-
supposed to be
yeah.
a really good movie. And I think, like, because I think somebody brought up this point that I heard. If it was a bad movie, they probably wouldn't have released it because obviously it wouldn't be worth all the press coverage that they're going to get for all the background stuff. So I actually am excited for that one too. Luke.
I have to go with Tom Cruise tries to kill himself, episode 7,
Oh yes.
Part one.
which is Mission Impossible
Part
for
one.
those of you
Oh,
who didn't know.
I'm waiting for the sequel of him jumping on Oprah's couch.
I'm waiting for the
We can
sequel.
hope.
I'm hoping the sequel of him on Matt Lauer. That's what I'm hoping for.
I hope we
I don't think
never
we're ever
get
gonna
that. No.
I don't think Matt Lauer is allowed on TV.
I know that was a joke. All right,
He,
guys,
like-
we're gonna now move
No,
on to
no,
our
I'm
next
not gonna-
big topic. Oscar shortlists have been announced. We're gonna go through these very quickly. Documentary, obviously, with the Oscars, documentary can be a big source of controversy, with the main frontrunner being snubbed. What is it? 2 years in a row? 3
Yeah,
years in a row
Alan
with-
D. Farrow. Who'd have
Oh,
thought?
shit. With what was it? Apollo 13, right? Or Apollo 11 was last year. I didn't see it. I can't remember if it's Apollo 13 or Apollo 11.
Not a
and
big
then obviously-
documentary, man.
And then Won't You Be My Neighbor? Have you guys seen any of these?
I have not. I saw one documentary
No.
that came out this
No, I
year,
haven't seen any of these.
and it is not on this list.
Have you guys heard of Fire of Love?
I have.
That's the
No.
That one I have, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
that's the
volcano
big-
one, right?
and then Moon Age Daydream as well. Those are the two kind of big ones that I think most people have heard
Yes.
of. Not gonna go over documentary short film.
Why not?
International
Wrong with
feature.
My
short?
favorite category.
What's wrong with the short? Those are the little people of films. Why you got a problem with them?
International feature. RRR wasn't chosen for India, which is quite interesting. They chose Last Film Show. RRR could be a big for the 10th slot in Best Picture. That could be a possibility. But guys, I think we can agree it's between All Quiet on the Western Front from Germany or Sin to Leave from South Korea. Rod, I'm going to go to you first. Have you seen one or both of those films, and what would you have as the front runner for international feature?
I've seen both of them.
Mhm.
I'm not in love with Decision to Leave as a lot of people are. I think it's good, not great,
Yeah.
but I did love All Quiet on the Western Front, so that'd be my front runner right now.
Luke, did you watch All Quiet on the Western Front?
No, but it's in my watch list, and
It
so
seems like a Luke
Decision to
movie.
Leave.
It seems like a Luke movie.
Why is that?
A lot of noise, a lot of effects, a lot of
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds exactly.
Chris
Lot of
Evans.
hands.
makeup and hairstyling.
What, you think I don't watch international films?
Fuck no.
Well, you're right.
Alex,
What
name
am I
one
looking at
Latvian
here?
movie. Name one Latvian movie.
Oh, we're gonna move on.
Oh,
Makeup
the
and
Batman.
hairstyling.
The Batman wins.
Batman, obviously. Crimes of the Future was a big surprise because it's obviously not the type of makeup that the Academy usually goes for. A lot of like there's a person with ears all over them. So, but do you think the Batman? Do you think that?
The
And
Penguin.
obviously Amsterdam because Christian Bale has like a glass eye or something
Yeah,
or a
fuck
star on
him.
his.
The
easier.
Batman.
The Batman,
Oh
Probably
my
the
god.
Batman.
Are you kidding me?
and then Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Just basically on the basis of that guy with the thing in his mouth.
The blue people?
Oh,
the
you know what I'm
his
talking about. You know what I'm talking
Tyler
about.
Durden.
Rod.
Does it count when they made his crotch smaller? Does that count? They did that with CGI. They made Namor's
way.
crotch smaller.
Oh, yeah, they did.
shit.
They did. I
That's
saw
insane.
that. They did make his manhood smaller.
Poor
Where do
Namor.
you guys find this stuff? What the hell?
There's
Twitter.
photos
Fun
of it
facts today.
online.
And then original score, the Batman.
The Batman.
Obviously, that's the big one that's missing. Guys,
Wait,
like,
it's
no.
not on there?
No.
That was the
What
big
the fuck?
that was the big storyline coming into this. But guys, are we all in the Rod, you've seen Babylon. Will you be on the Babylon train for best
Yeah,
score?
I'm on the Babylon train.
That's on
Wait,
like
wait.
so. I was actually going to do a poll on Instagram for this. Do you think the Babylon or the Batman score is better? Because both of them, I think we can agree, is the best of the year.
The Batman's my favorite of the year.
Okay,
For the
gotcha.
score.
They're both
but,
great.
I mean,
I'm
since
stunned.
since
interesting.
Batman's not on here.
And then
Babylon.
it's also interesting. The Fablemans is obviously that and Babylon are the two favorites for the Oscar. And although I love the Fablemans, I would never pick John Williams' score in that over Justin
Michael
Hurwitz's for
Giacchino's
Babylon.
Batman.
I don't even know why. Obviously, because it's John Williams that the Fablemans, and it's one of his last scores.
But it's,
that would be
it's
considered favorite.
shocking because
Yeah.
the Batman score was just beautiful.
He got no cinematography, or won't get cinematography most likely. So
Which is bullshit.
I will
too.
say the score for She Said is also actually really good too.
gotcha. And
Just throw
yeah,
that out there.
and the Woman King as well is really good. And then Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Original song. What do you prefer? The Lift Me Up from Black Panther, which is obviously one of the favorites, and then obviously you have Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick.
I've been They're very neck and neck for me. If you would have asked me in May, I wouldn't say, "Oh, how is anyone going to beat Gaga?" And then Rihanna shows up. So I think I listened to "Lift Me Up" more recently.
Right?
Yeah, I'm with Luke. I'm kind of lift me up.
I still think "I Ain't Worried" is by far not even close. It's an original song for that movie, right?
Yeah.
For Top Gun.
But they
I mean,
submitted it.
No, obviously they can't submit both, can they or no?
They did.
Oh, they submitted both.
If
But
you can
only one?
submit 2 supporting actors, why can't
Oh,
you
that's true.
submit
I'm
2
an
original
idiot.
songs?
Yeah, but one of it didn't get
but
it.
it didn't make it. Which is
It's a shame.
a shame.
And then best
My
sound.
most listened to song of the year.
Best sound, obviously, this is Luke's category. Best sound, your thoughts?
It has to be Maverick, right?
It has to be Maverick. Especially the second on a rewatch, I appreciated the sound in Maverick a lot more. And then visual effects. Thor Love and Thunder was unfortunately not on the list here. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's Avatar, right?
It's Avatar.
It's Avatar. They could go with the Top Gun Maverick, like a sneaky.
Top Gun Maverick's like a 1917 kind of win. Like you don't really notice
1917
it,
First Man too.
But,
yeah.
But Avatar's Avatar.
Yep. All right, guys. But those are gonna be our thoughts on the Oscar shortlist. Let us know what you think in the comments below as we head to our last segment, Buy or Sell, the most iconic
Yay!
of Kind Helmer Unfiltered. We're going to talk about some of the smaller topics that occurred within the last week of movies. We'll talk about if you would buy those topics or sell those topics. First, we're going to talk about the new Knock at the Cabin trailer. Obviously, M. Night Shyamalan's new movie. Luke, buy or sell?
Sell, because I avoided it because I watched the first one and that was enough for me to be intrigued. So I'd rather go in without this second trailer.
Rod?
I have seen it because it was attached to, I think, it was attached to Babylon when I went and saw it, and I thought it gave away a little too much, so I'm gonna sell it.
Okay.
Guy?
I didn't know he still made movies. I thought he was done. I thought we banned him from making any more movies because it was just consistent bad ones.
Don't let Dev.
That kid's cute. No. All right, I can't focus. Okay, I need to see people. All right, this is too much. but yeah, I'll sell.
I will sell too. I'm intrigued because I would never watch this. Well, I would still watch it because I want to see how I like seeing how bad M. Night Shyamalan's movies are. But because it's not written by him, it gives me a bit of hope that this might be good.
It's based on the book. I believe.
It's based on an actual a good book, not one of his just god awful screenplays. So hopefully he adapts it in one of the best ways possible. Next we have That 90s Show. The trailer just dropped. Now, first of all, any of you guys fans of That 70s Show?
Nope.
Guy?
Oh God, no.
No. So is that a no to the 70s Show and a no to this trailer?
Look like shit. You know? Watch Cheers.
Dude.
Why don't you watch Cheers? Why don't you watch Seinfeld? Why don't you watch some old fat Larry Sanders Show? That's a good show to watch, you know? Watch something actually good.
All right. And we're running out of time here. We're going to try to go through all these topics very quickly.
Hey, these kids today, I'm sick of hearing these kids talking about, all these these sequels to shows. Fuck you. Watch it. Right. Watch the original.
Next, we're going to go to our next topic. Gal Gadot returning for Fast and Furious 10. Reportedly, not absolutely confirmed, but reportedly. Luke, Fast and Furious expert in the stream, your thoughts?
This does not surprise me at all. Apparently, it was in a test screening, and then she was in a scene, and I'm selling it. They explained Han in I don't even know how they figured that one out. I still don't really like it. How they will explain this one, I don't know.
Well, she fell off a plane wing. I mean, it's not impossible, right?
The plane was going pretty fast.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, they have to pull out all the stops because Dwayne Johnson isn't returning, and I think the only Fast and Furious
just lost Black Adam. He has to return.
He might want to reconsider that now.
He changed
the only Fast and Furious movies that I find at least palatable. The only ones I think that are at least palatable are the ones with Dwayne Johnson in it. I think Fate of the Furious is the best Fast and Furious movie.
It's up there.
Yeah. And so it doesn't surprise me that Gal Gadot, they would bring in an actress like that to fill that void.
She lost Wonder Woman.
She did, yes.
That hasn't been confirmed yet. That hasn't been confirmed.
It hasn't been confirmed, but if it is confirmed, assuming it is, I would buy it. Rod?
Look, I love this franchise. I'm gonna sell this though. We gotta start bringing these dead people back. I mean, the Han thing was one thing. Now bringing her back, I mean, I'm with Luke here, and I haven't agreed with them once today. Come on.
That's how you know it's bad. When you start agreeing.
Our next topic. No Schnapp.
Oh
So
my
that
god!
Stranger Things season
I didn't
5.
know Toad from the X-Men was acting.
Stranger said that Stranger Things season 5 will end with Will Byers. It starts with Will Byers, it ends with Will Byers. He also said it's incredibly emotional. Specifically, he said this quote over here. I can just tell you that I'm very excited for what's to come. I think they did a great job with Will's character this season. Beautiful address, everything they needed to, which means they'll probably address, obviously, the storyline of him supposedly being gay. And then the way they close the show is just perfect. Are we buying or selling this?
So let me just say something.
Oh boy.
This is how you know, like when you get the cast kids in a show, when they go through puberty, they all look so fucking gross. And you look at this show, and this show just
That's
proves
so mean.
I know it's mean.
He's a
I know
kid.
it's
Why are
mean,
you?
But it's true. It's like those ads with like the Gerber
Dude.
baby.
He's a kid. He's probably
The
older
Gerber
than
baby
Guy.
now, it's got like a heroin needle in its arm, and it's all disgusting.
That's so mean.
You know what? I'm sorry. This show should have ended like years ago because these kids look so freaky now.
I forgot Guy's not a Stranger Things fan like the rest of us.
I'm not. And you know what? I'm a Stranger Things season 1 fan. I'm not a Stranger Things any other season fan.
That is the best season.
Bro,
I
have to just it just appalls me at this internet
appalls you?
like backlash.
A new
at
word.
Stranger Things.
A new word,
It's again an example of one of those shows where that because people love it so much, obviously the internet feels the need to shit on it as many times as possible.
That's not why I need
it's
to
like
shit on
objectively
it.
like
I
a
shit
really
on it
good
because
show.
it's bad.
It's like a really good show.
No,
if you
no.
think it's
I
like
shit on
mid,
it
that's
'cause it
fine. But
sucks.
if you think I think that's
The film
false.
criticism in 2022.
Here's why I
It's
think-
made.
Here's why I think. Here's why I think it's bad. It sucks. That's why I think it's bad.
Luke,
Now I think I'm
Oh
gonna
my
sell
God.
this.
I'm gonna let Guy finish.
You know, I'm gonna sell this. You know, sorry to my sisters who both have crushes on Noah Schnapp, but God knows why.
that's
you
why
know,
he.
Steve
I'm
I'm
Harrington
gonna
is
sell
right there.
this. What? I'm gonna sell this, and yeah, I think you should get a haircut. All right,
It's not his haircut in real life, Guy.
all right, but even the show, I can't look at that. This look like
Luke.
Dr. Octopus Young.
People always talk too much when like promoting their movies or TV. Just like, oh yeah, it's so emotional. Oh. Like, just shut up. We're gonna watch the show anyway. You don't have to tell us what happens. So I'm gonna sell.
Remember when
Rod.
what's his name? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, guys.
Remember when what's his name said Aquaman 2 is gonna be better than Aquaman 1?
Yeah, Abdul Mateen said that.
Yeah. Where the fuck's Aquaman 2? Exactly. Exactly.
Did he like get cast in Wonder Man like 2 days after he said that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Rod.
I want to sell this too. Look, first of all, this series started with Will and ended with look. Hold on a second. Hold on. I like Stranger Things a lot. Okay, great show. This fourth season actually is my favorite. But we don't go to this show for Will Byers. We go to this show for 11, and Will's great in the group, but like
We go there for Dustin. We go there for Dustin.
Dustin is a better character.
You know, we go
Justin
there
is a
for-
better character.
Dustin's a great character. We go there for the guy that dresses like Donald Duck, who was the bully in the first season, but then started working at the ice cream shop. You know what I'm
Does dress like Donald.
We go there for that. We go there for that police chief that spends way too much time with children and has a mustache.
I go there for the one guest character season I like, whether that's Alexi, whether that's Bob, whether that's in the new season. Who's
Eddie.
the new guy? Eddie,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's who I'm there for.
Chrissy,
We go there for Erica, the younger sister of
Oh yes, Erica. Let's go. I'm surprised. Am I the only one who's surprised that Guy knew the name of Lucas's younger sister in the show? Like, what
I
a
didn't know
random
Lucas's
occurrence.
name. I just knew Erica because I remember I hated that character.
I like her. She's fine. But guys, that's gonna end it for this Return to Unfiltered episode 24. Rod, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at the Cinema Gallery on Instagram. You can find me on the Infinity Film Podcast with my other co-host, Ben Saunders.
Luke?
You can find me in the link in the description, maybe.
Guy?
You can find me at Guy David Noel Comedy on Instagram. You can also find me on Twitter, but I don't know the name. So you can just find me on Instagram.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
Just type the guy David Knoll. It'll probably come up.
Guy David Knoll
And
Comedy.
you can find me on League of Cinephiles on Instagram. You can find me at my name, Alex Helmer, on Letterboxd. Yes, just type in my actual name and you will find
Or
me.
if you want, you can type
Or on
in send in
Instagram,
the
you
clowns.
can find
one
Al.
word.
No, you
3X
don't know. You
Chase
don't have to send me
Helmer.
that.
Guys, your picture is your profile picture on Twitter of Erica.
No. I have to change that now.
All right, guys, that's going to end the show. We'll see you next week with another episode of Unfiltered. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back to you every single weekend from now, moving forward. See you all at the movie. That's the wrong intro.
See you at the movies.
All
What the hacky shit is that?
right. See y'all
How
later,
about
guys.
ciao?
Ciao.